So what is the major drawbacks which are there in the older versions? Why HTML5 has been introduced into the market? That is what we have to understand. Before talking about HTML5, first older versions. I'll just brief you about older versions. How many versions are there? If you talk HTML 1.0, then HTML 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. Next, dynamic HTML. DHTML stands for dynamic HTML. XHTML. Then at last, HTML 5.0. This is the one which we are going to highlight today. Okay. Hi Gaurav, good morning. So now see, let me brief about it, because it is not something like we wanted to learn complete HTML 1.0 or 2.0. The ultimate goal of HTML is whatever the concept which are there in HTML, by using those concepts, we must be in a position to build a web page. That's all we have to learn. But if you keep thinking more about the HTML, all the older versions have some sort of drawbacks. How they identify that there are drawbacks? So over a period of time, the web technologies are increasing, and the people started, building the web technologies day by day, and it has a lot of updates comes into play. And earlier, people are not giving much importance to the user interface or web applications, and people are doing traditional way people used to do it. But now, everyone are turning into digitalization world. That is where digital world we need applications where we'll be able to sell our business across the globe. So when we are planning to sell our business across the globe, that is where we need a primary thing is application. Either it's web application or mobile application or website or whatever it is. For that, you may need HTML to build. Got my point? Now, here in the process of building HTML 1.0 is not that much sufficient enough. Whatever the technology, I need to say tags which are there in 1.0, by using 1.0, which is not sufficient enough to build a web page. So they were giving some releases in order to understand how web works, because www, it was not initially, it was not connected to entire world. So initially they started building a small web page wherein there will be a connectivity between the user and the application, that HTTP protocols or internet technologies, and everything is in trial and error. Okay. Then HTML 1.0 will never ever help us to build a web pages completely. Then slowly HTML team has released one more version by adding more features and more additional tags, additional attributes, additional elements. Now here, if anyone asks about what is the differences between older versions and newer versions, and you should be in a position to say it's just a common question. Existing versions have some drawbacks or limitations or disadvantages. That is where people will try to come back to the latest version. This is our agenda behind the new releases, am I right? So for that, you need not to have any kind of engineering knowledge is not required. That's my point. But what are the advantages? If we ever ask questions, and people are going to ask questions, the difference between a current version and the previous version, they will never try to ask you to learn from the scratch. That's my point. So now XHTML was the last version, and DHTML is last version. Okay. So web pages started building from here. The web application started building from HTML 4.0. Now till here, I'll tell you, till here, if you wanted to build a web page, people are using tables. What is that? People are using tables. I'll just explain about what is the drawbacks of table. To create a layout also, for example, think about it, this is a layout. Yesterday we created one small layout, right? This is called, whatever the XYZ layout that we have built yesterday, this is one of the sample layout that we have built. So can't we build this kind of layout by using tables? This is also, as we discussed, we should always go for row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. And as per our requirement, if you wanted to divide our row 4 also into 4 partitions, we can go for 4 divisions. But in the place of divisions, can't you use TD, 1 TR I can take? I'll be able to divide my row into multiple columns. Can't we use table? First say yes or no. So we can also use table. Understand? So till 3.0 or even in HTML 4.0 also, people are using tables to build web pages. And they are using a different tags for different purposes. But later on, they identified that there is a drawback with the table while creating the layout. Generally, commonly, if you speak, what is the use of table? To represent the data in the form of rows and columns. Data representation purpose only people are going to use tables. But people are violating the rule and they are using tables also for creating the layout. And what is the drawback if you use tables to create a layout? Point number 1, the responsiveness. That is one of the biggest drawbacks. So earlier they were using because there was no much available devices in the market. People are targeting only for the desktop. Since they were targeting only for a desktop users, and if you fix the table for a width 1024, it will work exactly for the desktop. There was no responsiveness. Now the technology has evaluated like anything, and there are thousands of different gadgets which are there in the market. Now the audience, the different users, whoever visits your application, so they will be visiting by using a different available gadgets in the market, either laptop or desktop or maybe bigger screens or smaller screens, even phone 4 inches, 4.5 inches, 5 inches, 5.5 inches, like that. So when we are planning to make your web page responsive is a part of UI development, RWD, responsive web design. So by the time table-based layouts were creating the problem. That is where in DHTML people have released few more tags. Here division-based layout came into picture. What is that? Division they started using for layout. That's my point. But that is where people make it as DHTML, dynamic HTML. Earlier, HTML 4.0, people are building HTML for web only static applications. There was no much dynamic interactions, that was not possible. Whatever the available technologies which were there when 4.0 is released. But later on, people started, to whom we will call it as web application. There will be always interactions between a client and server. That is called web application. If there is no interaction between a client and server, we can call it as a website, a static site. Dynamic site, always there will be interactions, dynamic. Now, whatever I am speaking, if you people are just listening, if you are not responding, that is called static. I'm just shouting and you are not even listening. I mean to say responding. So that won't even give any benefits. Dynamic applications only, companies are concentrating to build a dynamic applications to expand their business into the external world. That's my point. That is where DHTML. So DHTML is quite compatible enough for building the web applications to make that application dynamic. So dynamic in the sense the data comes into play as and when if user started interacting with an application. Some data will try to display on the fly. Some data will try to display. Okay. So as per the user, for example, I will tell you one simple example. If you log into, so if you people are logged into Facebook, if you log in by giving your username and password, only your information is coming, which is called dynamic. If I give my username and password, in the dashboard, my information comes into play. So that information, is it ready by default, or is that information is making it ready as long as the user is interacting? So it is not ready-made. On the fly, the data is pulling it from the server and it is presenting in the dashboard. Am I right? According to the user credentials, which is called dynamic. By the time, end of the day, HTML or front-end developer responsibility is to present the data into UI. Only for presentation purpose, companies are spending too much of time and efforts to hire a quality of UI developers to present their data very well in the websites. Now, if you want to present the data, as we discussed, the thumb rule of HTML is we should not place any text without a tag. But when you are placing a data which we have received from the server, that is where we should know right tag at right place. Some places we have to represent the data in a tabular format. Some places we have to represent the data in the image format. Some places we have to represent the data in audio and video format. Some places we have to represent the data in the list format, paragraph format, heading format. So as long as if the design demands you to create that particular flow as a heading, you must use headings only. That too, which heading? H1 to H6. Whether you want to give high priority, go for H1. Low priority, go for H6. And if someone asks you to divide your page into your particular empty space into multiple partitions, you should always use the layout related tags. You should not go for other tags. Here in this session, I would request all of you to use a right tag at right place. Now the difference is DHTML, only division and span. Few elements only they have added, and they named it as dynamic HTML. Then what is XHTML stands for? Extensible Hypertext Markup Language. In XHTML, there is no releases. There is no any new tags or new attributes or nothing they have added. But they have added a lot of rules and regulations to HTML. As you people have seen, you might have already seen, if you make a mistake in HTML, are you going to get that mistake or any errors immediately? Even if you're executing it, it won't even throw error. Why? Because HTML is not programming language or a scripting language. Since it is a markup language where we are just marking up the data to present for end users. That's all. Now, in DHTML, the rules have been added. What is the rule? The rule number 1. If it is a pair tag, you must be always close the pair tag. For example, paragraph. Paragraph is a pair tag or single tag. You must close it. Understand? When you are adding some attribute, the value must be surrounded with a double quotations. That is what in the line number 7, the style is an attribute. And for that, to give a value to that attribute, and we have given a double quotation. And when you are adding a CSS, all the properties you have to add it in the left hand side and separate by colon. Right hand side you have to give a value and semicolon is the terminator. This is all the syntaxes which they have clearly added in XHTML. Now, as we already discussed, the document type is going to describe what sort of version of HTML that you people are using. That's my point. Now, all these simple rules, earlier these rules were not added in the older version. And people are making mistakes, and the website is not even, browser is not even considering them as a mistake. That is where what happens at last, the search engines come into play, search engines started giving the warnings. If too many warnings are there in your page, one warning is enough, 2 warnings is okay. But if every time if I wanted to warn you, then search engine started giving a bad ranking to the web page. So as long as if bad ranking comes, then visibility, it decreases. So that is where search engine will stop asking website owners to make search engine friendly code. Search engine started giving a ranking. Automatically, if you wanted to come first, you have to make your website according to search engine friendly standards, am I right? And they don't want to beg for you, because your business you have to lift up. It's Google is responsible for them to build their, to lift your business. Understand what I'm trying to say? That is where the rules and regulations are added in the XHTML. We will try to publish what are the rules. I already said the rule number 1, always if it is a single tag. What do you mean by single tag? For example, if it is a single tag, BR, break is a single tag. If you use this format also, it will work. But as far as XHTML is concerned, self-invoking tags, you should always give / closing, because if you are giving this kind of syntaxes, what happens when you are executing this page in the browser will first try to go back to the first line. It will try to see the first line. And based upon this first line, we are giving an information to the browser to say that, hey, I started building this page by using this version standards. You please try to validate my page and my source code based upon the version which I described in the line number 1. That is where it started, validating your pages. That's the reason. One important question people will ask when you are going for interviews: what if document type is not defined? If you are not defining this document type, go and try to check. Even if I execute this page in the browser, is there any errors are coming? It will display the same. There is no errors. It is not even stopping. But what happens, there is a huge problems when it comes to the browser. Now, Chrome is a browser, which is a smart browser. But not everybody are smart browsers, right? That's the point. Now, they can even validate against any version. Why? Because you are not even educated there. Your smart browsers will try to collect the latest version. It will start validating your code by using latest standards. But some of the browsers, if you go, you never know whether users are using a latest version of a browser or outdated versions or older version. Is there any control against the browser version of a user? You can't control. That's my point. So maybe people are using Chrome, maybe at 20. What is the current version of a Chrome? If you go and try to check about Chrome. .93.0. This is the latest version. This is compatible for 64-bit operating system. That's fine. Now think about it. If the people are using 30th version, maybe if your latest standards of code, whatever you have written, if it's not compatible enough for that older version, then again there will be a problem. So to keep that in mind, you have to educate your browser. When you are keep writing the code, you should always educate your browser in such a way that you have to give, this is mandate. Now here we have given HTML5. What does it mean? HTML5 is a combination of whatever the versions that we have discussed so far. All the versions will be there in the HTML5. Along with HTML5 also has its own new tags, new elements, new attributes. All these guys are added. That is where, for a safer side, even if you are using a older tags also, try to define your document type as HTML5. So that browsers, HTML5, if you are describing your version as HTML5, even it can even understand your older versions and it can understand the latest version.